Dr. Sally Foote. Move myself over here a little bit. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. I am a veterinarian and behaviorist. I have over 35 years of general practice experience with a niche or special interest in behavior. And I speak, educate, and create my own online publishing courses as well as and programs in low-stress veterinary care. Low-stress veterinary care is the blending of the Fear-Free program, the low-stress handling certification program by Dr. Sophia Yin, as well as cat-friendly practice techniques, along with ways to be efficient in using medication as well as supplements to decrease anxiety, and lastly, with an emphasis on safety. So today my topic is about these tools we use or we need to use in veterinary care, sometimes also at home care and in shelter and animal control, admission, times for care. And, are these low stress or not? There are some programs, I am aware that, for example, in the cat-friendly practice program, there are some positions or points of view that things like gloves are not cat-friendly. So I'm opening this up, my little Facebook Live here, to let's really talk about this. Let's talk about the safety tool. And is the tool itself a reason or a source of stress, or is it how we're using the tool and how can we make it less stressful for the patient? Or lastly, at times, does the tool itself actually help to provide a less stressful care experience? Okay, so over the many, many years that animals have been in care, because it is normal for an animal to possibly aggress, suddenly flip to bite, lunge to bite, or strike, or of course go in fear, hiding and trying to pull away when they're painful. And many times when an animal is presented for care, they're presented because they're ill, they're physiologically stressed, or they're in pain. So there is always this risk for the veterinarian as an examiner, or the handler as being involved in holding the animal, that there could be a bite, there could be injury to the handlers and examiners, and we do need to keep ourselves safe. So some of these tools, let's just start with the gloves, for example. And we've all seen different kinds of gloves. This pair here, these are called the arm or hand gloves. They are designed by a veterinarian, Dr. Laura Catena, and they're used quite frequently by rehab, wildlife people. They love them because, as you can see, I'll show you, the gloves are, and this is the fingerless version. There's a full finger version, but you can see they're very flexible. And these are sized. So just like you would buy a shoe to fit your foot well, these are sized. Now these are different. Many of us have used, or all that we had were the welder's gloves, those heavy leather gloves that were not flexible, they could not be washed. These are washable. So the difference between the design of gloves themselves. These gloves can help to decrease stress. Why? Because with washing them, they're not going to carry the scent pheromones, especially when we're handling cats, from one cat to another. Secondly, it's all about how we use the tool. Move my little dog over here for a minute. So if the only time I'm wearing the gloves, this cat is tense and I'm suddenly grabbing the cat, I'm scruffing the cat, and I'm just doing that with more confidence because I'm wearing the gloves to protect myself from anticipated injury, I'm handling the animal in force. And then yes, they will associate force no matter what style of glove I'm wearing. But if I take these gloves and I smear a little bit, I'm just going to pretend I'm going to do it, folks. Squeeze cheese on the glove, and before I touch this kitty, I offer it to him, and so he may eat it, or I'm still doing the jugular hold, or I may use like a cloth, but I'm wearing the gloves because there could be a quick flip to bite, and cats naturally, it is part of the normal mouth bacteria, carry a bacteria that when in a puncture bite can cause a very severe infection, a blood infection in humans. Many people have been hospitalized on IV antibiotics within 24 hours of a bite, Otherwise, that was just 1 or 2 small punctures. So we have this risk. And so how do we make the gloves then themselves be nice for the animals so the gloves are not providing and they're not a source of stress. They are a source of protection, self-protective gear. Put food on the gloves. You can spray feel away on the gloves. So the pheromone is marking the gloves just in the same way we would use with the towels. Now here's another point I really want to emphasize about using a safety tool, which is how it decreases the handler's stress and the stress of everyone else in the room. It's not because we know, oh wow, you know, these are bite proof. They're not bite proof. There's absolutely nothing that's bite proof. They're bite resistant. But because if I'm wearing the gloves, now I feel more relaxed. I am not emitting the stress hormones out of my body. Remember, we do emit those stress hormones and those stress pheromones. Cats, dogs, many animals can sense those pheromones 10 times approximately better than we do. So this is why when we talk about, oh, you know, the stressed animal is stressing out the stressed owner is stressing out that pet. Yeah, but stressed staff also stresses out the patients as well. So if the staff's feeling a little nervous, like, oh, I don't know about that cat. I just found out I was pregnant. I'm waiting on that 3rd mammogram result. Boy, if I've got some breast cancer brewing, I can't get infection right now. And you're not protected. You're going to be more nervous. And that is going to increase the stress on the patient. So wearing the gloves that gets you calm can be a way that the animal sees the gloves as, hey, it's a good thing. So it's really all about how we use the tool. Now I will say this, okay? Kevlar pretty much just comes in black. I know Dr. Katana well, she's a friend of mine, and I've talked to her about the look. The look of the gloves themselves has a stigma. It's because they're black. I asked even another behaviorist who still was like, no, I don't know. I just can't kind of get my head around using these, even though, yes, you're right, it's how we use them. And yes, it's to protect our staff because we get too much injury and we do not value ourselves enough to protect ourselves or whatever. We're too busy. But I said, is it because they're black? If they were pink Angora, would you like them better? She said, well, I'm like, probably. But that obviously is not a practical fabric for them to be made of. So we need to work on getting our head past this. And I'll tell you what, many of you may have these gloves and they're sitting in the corner because you still don't use them unless the cat's really upset. Yet, if we have health concerns in the staff or new staff, we want to use them, go ahead and bling them up. Get some nice pink fabric paint. Draw on them. We love animals here. You know, whatever. That doesn't matter because they're still going to be protective. They would still wash well. And if changing the look of the gloves helps you to feel good about wearing the gloves, and we never use these gloves to force an animal. It is simply for that added layer of protection when there may be bite risk because of injury, emergency medicine, illness, or low skills that the staff do not have good skills yet and less stressful care and fear-free. We need to protect ourselves, so change the look of them. Get some fabric markers, get some fabric paint, paint them up, that's fine, okay? They'll still function just as well. Okay, so let's talk about some other tools, right? And how do they add stress or do they not add stress? Okay, muzzles, right? Many of you may be already following things like what's called the Muzzle Up Project. This is a website showing how to feed dogs out of muzzles when they need to wear muzzles. Many dogs who are reactive or biting on at other dogs or lunging up. So protecting the mouth is a big, important factor for preventing injury. And of course, when we're examining dogs, especially up by the face for an ear examination, an eye examination, an inflamed ear or eye, very easy for them to flip to bite on either the handler or the veterinarian because we're right up there in their face. And we can't help that because that's the body part we have to examine. So these are basket muzzles. These are typical Mickey muzzles, the nylon muzzles. Now, most people, if I just showed you this, again, let's talk about stigma. You're like, oh no, that's a horrible muzzle. Oh, it's awful. No, it's not in itself. This muzzle provides the ability to breathe or drink through it. If we had an animal that needed, because they could lunge up at another dog in the parking lot, they may have to sit and wait while we're taking x-rays and taking multiple views, etc., that the mouth still needs to be protected and covered. They may need to pant through it. They may need, and we also want to be able to feed through it. So the point is, we change the meaning of the muzzle by adding food inside the muzzle, and the dogs will lure their face straight into the muzzle. I'll get my little dog out here now. Now, so just because it looks like a basket muzzle doesn't mean it's bad. And again, a lot of times, dog is happy wearing the muzzle. We continuously feed through the muzzle. Go to my top 5 low stress handling in dogs course. I have a video and demonstrate this clearly and a handout for your clients how to make them happy about wearing a muzzle. But this is a basket muzzle. Now compare the basket muzzle, like I showed you, to say this cloth muzzle. Okay, the cloth muzzle can be effective and good, but the cloth muzzles that are in like a royal blue color, honestly, most people are like, oh, okay, I'll put that on. It's the color. Now, if you want to then buy the royal blue ones to help make it easier for your clients to accept and your staff to accept, use this early before we start the exam. If we have a laceration in the ear, if we have an ulcer on the eye, if we need to do anals, if we have a broken nail, etc., fine, do that. Or again, you want to bling this up. Okay, this just happens to be a brand that's in black. You want to put fabric paint on it, fine. You know, put a smiley face on it, who cares? But use the muzzles in a positive way. We're going to feed them out of it the wrong way, and then of course lure them in. You see my video on my YouTube channel, and continuously feed through the muzzle, and that's what changes the meaning of the muzzle. Okay. Lastly, I want you just again to emphasize this point. A lot of it's us. It's not that the tool is actually causing stress, but these 2 muzzles, hold them the right way. See them? Sorry. Okay, one is black, one is red. These are from Campbell Company. And these are obviously the cone-shaped ones where you can hold it, and both for dogs or cats, they put them on. They're very quick and easy to get up over the ears and to snug down. Okay, that's how the muzzle functions. Okay, so you can see it in the red. I don't know if this one's big enough to do it in the black. Okay. Now, you tell me which one to you seems nicer or better. Most people would say the red one. They're the exact same thing. And of course, you never use them in force. They can protect the face. But I'm just getting at the point of let's be open-minded and realize, you know, we want to use these and we want to remember that we're using them for self-protection and always in a positive way. Yet, if you do need to go to something that looks a little bit better, then do it. Because we do need to reduce the risk of being bitten. Nobody is a hero for saying, well, I never muzzle an animal. And I don't think you're really realizing the risk of this business sometimes and what may happen to you, okay? But Campbell came out with these in black initially, and they were here for a few years. Then they came out with the multicolored line. And so many people have multicolored line, and it's about the color. Okay, fine, then use color to help yourself out. Okay, last thing too to consider, yes, muzzles can be low stress because again, we're going to use them as a feed mask. We're going to feed continuously through them. Change the meaning of the muzzle. You put that on before you start any handling, before you've added any of that touch and examination that might add stress. And lastly, when the dog's mouth is muzzled and the dog is comfortable and the dog's not getting agitated, we all relax as well. So the human stress decreases, which helps to decrease the stress of the animal, the dog and the people in the room, and that is very important. Okay, so just as another comparison, this is our good old Elizabethan collars, right? And they can be nice as a shield to quickly pop it around and say, I'm going to use my little dog here, dog's head, and snap it in place. Okay, now this one's a nice see-through one. They come in all sorts of styles, and of course they've really improved. But have you seen the collars like this that look like a big sunflower? You know, they have this sunflower kind of design painted either on the inside or the out, I think on the inside. And the purpose of that was just so it looked pretty and cute and people didn't feel so bad about their animal needing to wear an Elizabethan collar to prevent them from licking at a wound. So this can be a shield, but again, we'd want to spray the Adaptil, now called Thunder Ease pheromone spray in here because it'll help to improve the inhalation or absorption through the roof of the mouth to help them be calm. And this does protect us from being possibly a quick head flip to a bite, especially in a dog who is stressed by wearing a muzzle. Now, as long as this in itself does not cause stress as well, right? The action of putting it around the head, you would want to do a little bit of counter conditioning. Just as a comparison though, how does, say, a collar like this look, right? Compared to, this is called the comfy cone. I don't think you can see it. This is a padded, soft, Velcro kind of Elizabethan collar. And I saw this, I was like, wow, that just looks so nice. So when it comes to handling, it isn't that one of these is so much better for how it functions than the other. They both function very well. If this, because it's padded and it just quickly Velcros on, and that does not cause stress. Some dogs don't like the noise of it, or cats, but if it's helping to be easy to apply and it's now providing bite protection, and you may give reward or use a pheromone on it and everything is going better and the people are calming down, very important, the people are calming down, then yes, use the Elizabethan collar. This is now a tool for low stress veterinary care. It is not contrary to the principles of fear-free or low stress handling or cat-friendly practices. It's actually in line with it, okay? One last item I do also want to just point out for what it is and how it can, we may have a stigma about it, which is negative, thinking it's bad, don't use this, yet let's open our mind, look at it for what it is, think about how, what is providing, is it beneficial to the animal, is it beneficial to us to protect us from a quick scratch, or also insulating from touch, and that is the cat bag, we'll call it cat bag, or the cat wrap. Now, the older style, this is a cat, Calm and Cozy cat wrap, I can talk, which is also designed by a veterinarian, Dr. Sorrel Levine. And it's kind of a hybrid of the towel wrapping. Now, I know there's Velcro on it, so there could be a little noise stimulation there. A hybrid of how a towel wraps along with the cat bag concept. Now, this product, when you're going to use it, again, no tool should ever increase stress for the cat. Some cats like wrapping, some cats don't. So when we're going to take the cat, and especially, sorry, I got to step off camera, I forgot my towel. I had a lot of questions about this when I was at the Midwest conference with my booth. How do you get the cat in the bag if he's hiding and hunkered down? Okay, so let's say he's really hunkered down. We want to transfer the kitty into the bag. We do not scrub, right? And if we pick him up, he could flip his head and possibly try to bite. So we're going to take the towel real quickly, and I call this the hoodie technique with the towel. Come up over his head and around underneath the chin. Hope you can see that. And now we can pick him up and lay him into the towel. Get a little more in the center here. And in this case, this towel now, the sides can be brought up around his body, but we would start at the rump. It does have a two-way zipper. So see, this is better design. The design is improved from the traditional kind of cat bag, and we are not stuffing the cat in the bag. Cat bag is going to be for the cats who want to hunker down and hide, and I want to be small, and I want to be, you know, contained. Okay, that's a part of how you're choosing the tool. And maybe this cat, you're going to have to position for a jugular, roll him on his side, for an ultrasound or cystocentesis, and he could scratch. And if you scratch someone who has rheumatoid arthritis on the arm, like a staff member, and that person got inflamed in the skin and could get an infection, that is not a good thing and not a good risk, okay? So with the cat covered like this is how you can zip up the back, all right? And then what you would do is as you're zipping up, you're still keeping the head covered with the towel. That's how it's bringing this up around the head of the cat. And you could still keep the cat's head covered with a towel if you felt that was beneficial. Then, I call them the wings. The wings come up and around the body to snug. And then you can even use the top, I don't know if you can see, sorry, like up around the neck part and hold the fabric. So you do not need to scruff the cat. This is how we can help our staff to stop scruffing cats that may be agitated, may be quick to rise to aggression, or already anxious, and the staff is not confident in different ways of using towels or cowl wraps, or just keep your hands off of them and everything's gonna be okay. Okay, it's very difficult for the the staff to stop scruffing. So this tool can be used as a way to transition or have that same anchor point as a scruffing, but you're not pinching the skin of the cat. Now, secondly, the other benefit of something like this is the cloth is insulating or protecting the cat from the feel of our hand. That is how a towel is also helping. When we do this towel wrapping on the cat, it's like padding between our hand and the towel. Yet if you are working alone, or your staff is not very skilled in the various towel wrapping techniques, this is a tool that will help to have a cat wrap to reduce risk of injury, provided the cat is not struggling against the wrap. Remember, if the cat starts to struggle against the wrap, then when he doesn't want to be wrapped, you're not going to use the wrap. We're going to have to just say, do that hood technique I just showed you, or a cowl technique, or some other way. Now, there's other benefits in that we can quickly just undo the Velcro to get to the back leg. And the lovely thing is this does have a two-way zipper. We just unzip up the back side here to do lumbar injection, check a rectal area, etc. But the cat bag is not in itself a tool made for stuffing a cat in and holding the cat against its will. That has been our stigma, and that has been our problem with past use of the bag. The bag wasn't intended to be used that way. It became a way that we used it. And most of our previous older designed cat bags were a stiff canvas type fabric that only had a zipper going one direction, and oftentimes lacked these various, access points to be able to get to, say, a front leg, or to get to the abdomen to do ultrasound, etc. And so the bag itself may have been creating more struggle or difficulty in handling the cat. So this one has a different design. The fabric is fleece. It's nice and comfortable for the cat. And honestly, it's very appealing to see. Again, the look of the item is attractive. And by being attractive, it helps to reduce the stigma of what past use has created for it. And thirdly, then when the cat is in the cat bag, and again, if the staff and the client or whoever is more calm about handling this animal because they know, oh, he's not going to jump off the table. He isn't going to scratch at me. He can't start alligator rolling around trying to avoid being handled. Oh, it's going to be so much easier. The people have calmed down. Believe me, cats especially. Cats will calm down. The cat is one of the species, much like the horse, that really absorbs our emotions. So thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to bring out this presentation as a way for all of us to really consider to increase our use of safety tools when we need them. Always make safety nice. Make safety fun. And lastly, I will say this. Let us not bully each other or shame each other. If we are needing to use a bag, a muzzle, gloves, etc., because our skills are not so high and our patient load at our practice has a higher frequency of being presented in pain, being presented ill, or being reactive, suddenly lunging or biting, whether it's a dog or a cat. Thirdly, and also, if we ourselves have a health concern or a health status, that having any kind of a scratch, any kind of bite, even if it's innocent, you picked up the dog, you picked up the cat, and their arm just happened to rake against your skin, that could cause us a severe health consequence. We need to support each other in wearing and utilizing safety tools. Again, we make safety nice, we make safety fun, and that is how these tools are low stress. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I look forward to your comments. I know this can be kind of a hot topic here on the veterinary side of the world, especially as we are promoting these less stressful ways to handle animals. But I really, I do welcome any kind of commenting and that. Thank you so much. If you're going to be in East Peoria, come to the Mississippi Valley Veterinary Conference starting tomorrow. I will have a booth there, and I look forward to seeing you sometime. Take care. Bye-bye.